So I am open and available for questions if any of you have any that you would like to ask. Yeah, Mel?
Our current representatives in Olympia are both, I think, global climate change deniers. And my position is it's pretty hard for the West Side to take them seriously on nuclear issues when they are so out of touch, I think, scientifically on the whole thing. I just wonder what your position is on that.
Well, yeah, I think that global climate change is happening. I think that that's been scientifically proven. And I think that you raise a really valid point, is that in order to get what we need from the state, we are going to have to, come along and agree that if we're going to get some of these resources here locally, that we need to get with the program. When you have people in politics that are pretty much juxtaposed against a certain policy, it's really hard then for you to get support on some of your own initiatives. And I know that Senator Delvin wrote the minority report on the climate action report, and so you have a little bit less influence with your legislators when you're trying to get things done. I think it's kind of two-faced of us to say that we want a carbonless energy park, and the reason that we want that is to reduce our carbon emissions. And then on the other side say, but we don't really believe that this is happening. And so legislators see that in Olympia, and they kind of punish people, I think, for that attitude. So yes, in fact, I think that it's really important to have somebody that believes that this is happening and is a reality in Olympia to gain support for the park.
We've got a number of elected representatives representing the 8th Legislative District already. In your speech, you mentioned that you bring a different voice to Olympia. Could you expand that? Why would your voice be so different?
Well, I'm a different party, number one. I'm a lot more moderate, and I base my decision making on really good public policy. I don't lean on my own personal ideology. I think that I'm accessible differently. I think that just the relationships that I've helped develop in Olympia are going to help me get to the people that I need to get to in terms of majority leaders. But that doesn't mean that I'm not willing to go to Olympia and bat for things that our other legislators want. For example, last year I testified on 2 bills for our representatives, 1512 and 1321. And I did so because it was good for the district. It was just simply good policy. And it was bills that were sponsored by our representatives, but I felt it was really important to this community to get them done. So that's the way that I will just work in Olympia. I will do whatever it takes to make things happen for this community.
To follow up on that, what are some of the tough, unpopular decisions or choices that you're going to take to Olympia?
Well, I think one of them, I kind of referenced it earlier, was on salaries and budget reform. And I really think that we need to take a look at how we're spending our money and how we're compensating some of our positions in Olympia. This is a difficult task. This is what I think took the wine distribution privatization kind of sideways in Olympia, is that there was an unwillingness to, even just get rid of 20 of the wine distribution centers that were unprofitable. And those are tough choices that we're going to make in Olympia, but I think that being a newcomer and being moderate, I'll have a little bit more flexibility in making those tough choices.
So you talked about the universities, you talked about the charities. Now, are we talking then about wage cuts for these workers?
We're talking about looking at the way that they're compensated. We're talking about examining, the university. I know this is I wish Laurel People was here. Taking a look at the way that we're compensating some of our administrative positions at the university level and making sure that they're commensurate with what other states are offering, but that they're not out of line. Because what we've seen so far is maybe they're out of line. Maybe we really need to take a closer look at that. And Representative Taylor tried to get a bill passed to have a dashboard of sorts, but he wasn't successful in that. So maybe that's something that we could work on together. Any other questions?
The new taxes that kicked in this month, beer, soda pop next month, candy, bottled water. How do you stand on these?
Well, it is our duty as Americans to drink more beer, I guess. And if you've never drank them, maybe you should start. Because we need those tax dollars. Part of the taxes on cigarettes, cigarettes are not good for you. And you actually save money by not being addicted to cigarettes. You save the state money because you have less burden on your public health services. So, nobody likes having their taxes increased, but at the same time, there were critical programs on the budget that were going to be cut. I couldn't see cutting any more in education. There were some programs for the disabled and the homeless. So the legislature had to make some very, very tough choices, and so will I when I go to work here.
What do you think is different compared to this time compared to the last time that you ran for office?
Well, that's part of the reason I'm running. I don't think that there is enough difference. I don't think there has been enough change for this community. And so that's why I'm running. In addition, I think that the complexion of this area has changed somewhat with the stimulus dollars and some of the new people that have come into our community from outside of the area. Mostly, I just don't think that there has been enough change in that voice that needs to be heard. Now, I think that we're the 4th largest metropolitan area in the state. But folks, we don't have the 4th largest voice. And I keep reading over and over in the newspaper that, we need to get heard in Olympia. Well, I'm tired of just hearing that we need to get heard. We will be heard if I can get it there. Any other questions? Yes?
I'm a local small business owner, and you talked about mom and pop businesses and making things easier for small businesses. Would you care to elaborate?
One of the things I've heard about small businesses, and thank you for that question, is that we need to level the playing field for small businesses. Right now they are competing, they have some hardships just, competing with the internet. I know that one of the small businesses in Kennewick that owned a lighting store, people would come into his lighting store and ask him all sorts of questions about the lights, and then they would say, well, thank you very much, I'm going to go order it off the internet. So we need to start taxing our internet sales so that we can level some of the playing fields. We need to help you with business and occupation taxes and L&I insurance. So there are a lot of things, I think, at the state level that the state should be doing to help small businesses succeed. Any other questions? Well, if not, I just want to thank everybody so much. Oh, here's one, Marjorie. Yes.
So what position are you applying for?
I'm running for position 1, House of Representatives.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the food and the beverages that we have.